starting with the man in the mirror.
Yes.
I'm asking him to change his ways.
Yes.
And no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make this world a better place to take and make that change, take a look at yourself. Take a look at yourself.
Thank you. So
Husband, take a look at yourself, wife,
Yeah.
and make that change. Amen.
Love it. Sister Anisa, you have anything to put because we have another question here?
No, I'll let you go on to your question.
Is there any question you could have asked? You're not getting out of this.
Probably. Looking back, there's probably questions I could have asked, but I guess at that time I was in a different frame of mind and I just wanted an end. So that's, for me, looking back, I can say yes, there was probably questions I could have asked, which I didn't at that time, but yeah, I do agree.
Amen. So now the answers you guys give will be going out there as a teaching mechanism, you know? Try everything until you end up with nothing. Move on, move out. That's it. Things could happen, as Brother Earl said, that God could work things out in a different way, in a different order. But I like Anisa. And I'm still a little stronger. I do everything possible, you know? And when the end comes, it comes.
Yes.
So Anisa, what are your top 3 hopes and dreams for Tobago? We're going to go with Brother Earl Henry first.
My top 3 hopes and dreams for Tobago. I hope that Tobago, there's so many things that I dream for Tobago. I want Tobago to be a more, even though it's part of the unitary state of Trinidad and Tobago, I still want Tobago to be able to support itself in certain areas. I remember when I was a little boy, or even before we moved to Tobago, I understand Tobago was the breadbasket of Trinidad, right? Tobago is the breadbasket of Trinidad. I mean, people would plant all the provision and everything and go down to Trinidad to sell. The Trinidadians depended on Tobago to a certain extent on that.
Yes.
I don't want agriculture to be done away with. And very few people seem to be interested in agriculture anymore. We should be able to feed ourselves.
Yes.
Number 2, I'm hoping that there can be, in Tobago, it seems as though there is a split along political lines.
Yes.
I have not been following the politics as much as I should. My brother, he follows it a little closer than I do. But I can see that there is something going on there along political lines that, I mean, we can be we can be members of 2 different political parties, but that doesn't mean that we're enemies, right? Because we're all Tobagonians. Yes. One of the things that I hope that Tobago would get is a real good international airport. Because, I would not have believed it if I did not hear the Prime Minister of St. Vincent, Prime Minister Gonzalez, when they opened the St. Vincent airport. St. Vincent and Tobago are similar in size, but St. Vincent just opened a very modern airport, modern airport. When you get into the airport, if it's raining, the plane will go right in and you don't have to have umbrellas and all.
Yes.
This is 2021. Tobago is connected to Trinidad, which was at one time, if it not still is, the richest island in the Caribbean. And yet, those other islands, the airports are much more advanced, much more modern. That airport looked like a cow shed to me. I'm very embarrassed about it, and I'm wondering what's going on. So Tobago is not being treated as it should, as a sister island of Trinidad and Tobago, by the government of Trinidad and Tobago. More emphasis. So my hope is that there'll be more unity among the people of Tobago, because we are all Tobagonians. Number 2, with that unity, we must work for the development of Tobago. And number 3, I hope that God's spirit will cover Tobago. And the only way we can do that is if we go back to 2 Chronicles 7:14. If my people who are called by my name would humble themselves and pray. I don't care if you're Adventists, Pentecostals, Catholics, Jesus is not returning for religion. He's returning for a commandment keeping people. He's not returning for any, he's not coming back for Adventist or Pentecostal or Catholic or whatever. And we need to get out of that. We need to build our relationship with God. You know, he said, if you love me, keep my commandments, you work and you keep them as much. He would give you the strength, Philippians 4:13, to do that. And those are the three things that I wish for Tobago. That God will cover Tobago, and he can only cover Tobago if Tobagonians reach out to him. Okay, if my people are called by my name, would humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, God said, then I will hear from heaven. Then they will hear from heaven. I will heal their land.
So you're preaching a very nice piece of doctrine of which a lot of people abuse, you know, because you see, God didn't call for people who doesn't believe in him or who doesn't know him.
That's right.
Those that are called by my name. I want you and everybody else right now, as you go with this scripture, get ready to tell people who God is talking to. That is why we're having this big failure. Because the people who are called by his name, they're not turning. They're not praying to him. They're praying to gods of money. They are self-righteous people. And they believe that the people who are looking at them, that they're teaching, we believe in that God not calling them, God calling we, but not them. So God ain't really talking to every and anybody. It's those that harassing him, that are called by his name, that calling out his name. And we are the ones that are not doing it right. So prayers are coming for the just. And the just shall live by faith. We're not living just. How faithful are we? Sometimes being faithful doesn't mean you have faith. I am faithful to you because I want you to be faithful to me. But are you faithful? Are you living with faith? For only faith can behold Jerusalem, which is Jehovah's peace. We have been taught some real messed up doctrine. So I like when people like you with your intellect and your wits about you, who doesn't roll up on people with a cloth or with a collar or with being a pastor, but your intelligence can put you to be preaching when you should be just talking. You're anointed, and I want to bless God. I want to thank God. I want to thank God for having you cross my path more than 3-4 years ago on Facebook, and just smile. Know what you're thinking, you know? Because I know at the time when we used to talk, I used to hear a party affiliation in you. I ain't going on that today. I'm going on your words today. Because you are not talking about party right now. You're talking about people, policies, principles. And I love who you are. And I love what you stand for. I love how you speak today. I love what you want for Tobago today. I love what you want for Trinidad and Tobago today. Do you know Mr. Watson Duke?
I don't know him personally, but I've heard about him, and I don't know him personally now.
But you know his politics?
Yes, I know his politics. Well, I wouldn't say I know his politics. My brother listens to Tobago radio every day. He knows more than I do, but I've heard about Watson Duke. And the young lady who ran for Tobago West, I discovered that she's my cousin, Tanisha. My father is from Vier, and he told us that the Boris's, that we related to the Boris's. So when I saw her on your show, I said, Dad, there's a Boris on Mama Coco's show. And he told me, yes, you are related to the Boris's. So she is my cousin. And when I found that out, then I became a little more interested in the DPD, I think it is.
PDP.
Yeah.
PDP. So we're not about party right now. It makes some people.
Right.
But do you think the policies that you have in you for Tobago and how you want to see Tobago, do you think your cousin have it in her?
I think so. Listening to her, she's very articulate, she's very bright, she's educated. But that is important. That's not the most important thing, because most of the scampish politicians are educated or whatever. What I got from her, was a sense of patriotism for Tobago. She
with an urgent.
I got it from her, a sense of patriotism for Tobago, a sense of wanting to make a difference in the lives of Tobagonians. She came across as genuinely concerned about Tobago, where Tobago is right now in terms of its development. And she thinks that she can make a difference. And I think that, to me, she comes across as very genuine, very patriotic, as someone who, if given the chance, would work hard to make a difference for the people of Tobago. That came through for me. I have not listened to Watson Duke. I am not familiar with his politics, but I also get a sense that he loves Tobago. He wants to make a difference for the people of Tobago. And despite the other things that people say, because people talk about other things, I am talking about what comes through to me. And I think those are the type of politicians we need. We need people who care for people, who are concerned about people, who love people, who love Tobago, who genuinely wants to see a difference, will make a difference to Tobago. And for me, that comes through with those two, for me, Watson Duke and I can smile and say my cousin.
Your cousin.
My cousin. Yeah.
So, as today is not a political day, I told you guys.
Yeah.
Ask you if I ask you a couple of questions, you will answer.
Yeah.
If you can, you're not. Yeah. So, Sister Anisa, what are your top 3 hopes and dreams for Tobago?
Number one, and I'm coming from a healthcare background, so of course, as a registered nurse, I have to say healthcare, number one. I'm definitely not impressed with what I see and what I hear whenever I'm there. People have to be waiting for extensive period of time to have dialysis, to have simple things like ECG or something like that. And this is not humane at all, that they have to wait for months. A couple months ago, I was actually told by a friend, a family friend, and I was very disappointed about it. She actually is on dialysis, and she was supposed to get dialysis in Trinidad. They sent her to Tobago. She got there, and she was rejected, even in her state. They decided that, okay, they don't have enough machines, dialysis machines, to hook up patients at that point. Now tell me, you can't have 2 or 3 dialysis machines in a hospital. You need more. So for me, healthcare is a major thing because the population is aging, right? You have young people coming, but you also have the people that are, diabetics, hypertensive patients. So my thing is, I do believe that much could be done for the healthcare. Much could be done, especially for cancer patients and for people that are getting dialysis. Much could be done for that. And as you know, Mama Coco, there's tons of people in the island that are having diabetes and stuff. They need medication, they need stuff. And there are times when they can't get it. And what do? They sit and wait. And even if this is ridiculous. The second thing that bothers me, and I agree with Earl, this is the airport. I do believe that much could be done. Much could be done. And I agree with St. Vincent. For the past 2 years, my husband actually is from St. Vincent. And we went there for our first year anniversary. And then we went again last year. So I was there 2 consecutive years. And I really enjoyed it. And I must agree that when you do get there and in St. Vincent, you go straight in. It's not like coming out and, like Earl said, if the rain falls or the sun is too hot or whatever, you're totally covered. It's more internationally set. And the way it was developed is developed in a way, it's very modernized. And like you said, the population status is about the same as Tobago. I think Tobago is just a little bit more than St. Vincent. I'm not sure. You're the historian anyways. Geographically, I can't say. I can't say geographically, but I do know that Tobago is a little bit more than St. Vincent as far as that goes. But I do agree that much could be done for the airport. You need an uplifting of the airport, a revamping, if you will.
I didn't want to cut you because you still have another answer to give, but
yes.
Do you think that we need to displace so many people, take so much land in order to improve yes, Earl smiling, because I spoke about the airport with you, Anisa, or with Earl. And do you think that bigger is better? Displacing so many people to pay them so much money, underpaying them for the property just to facilitate an airport. People live there from generation to generation, and now they have to lose everything and they are not well paid off for their property.
I do believe that the people are being swindled, and I use this word loosely. They are being swindled out of their land, out of their property, so that the government can facilitate whatever they want to do with the airport. Now, if there's a way of making the airport much larger, and we're not talking about a runway, the whole structure of revamping it, remodifying it, this could be done. They can have architectural people that can really map out things and make a greater decision. So, yes, I don't agree with.
So you believe that vertical could minimize on the space and we still get a bigger and better airport?
Yeah, without having citizens losing their land or being swindled by giving them, some meager pay while acquiring their lands. That I don't agree, because I also have family members in the airport stretch that have land in that area. So I don't agree with that. Maybe yes. So vertical.
Well, yeah, I agree with Anisa. I think the people need to be there comes a time when development has to take place, and when that happens, people are displaced. I mean, it happens all around the world. If you want to develop, you will displace people, but you have to pay those people very well. And as Anisa is saying, I don't think somehow it seems as though, I'm not on the up and up of everything that's going on there, but it seems as though the people will not be compensated as much as they deserve to be compensated for their lands. But there is a term, I can't remember the name, I think it ends with domain, where the government has the right to use lands, even lands that are owned by people, but they have to reward the people, and they have to probably give the people an idea of how they can be relocated or something like that. But I don't understand the politics in Tobago right now as it relates to that, even with the hotel that they were planning to build, and some people are against the hotel and all of that. I don't understand the politics. And as I tell people, the people who live in Tobago, they feel the pain. They know what's going on. I mean, I'm a Tobagonian, but I live in the States. And so I can only say so much. I can't say more than I should say because I'm not there. But as Anisa say, we really need, at least we need a good terminal building. And Anisa, St. Vincent has more people than Tobago.
Oh,
and
really?
That is, and it's bigger. It's slightly bigger than Tobago. We are 116 square miles. St. Vincent, I think, is 133 or something like that. They have more people. But okay, I'll come back to my point. But the point I was making is that I heard the Prime Minister of St. Vincent say on the day that their airport was opened, that he received $10 million from Patrick Manning. It was not a loan, it was a gift from Trinidad and Tobago to St. Vincent, to St. Vincent to build a nice modern airport, but he gave nothing, and they do nothing for Tobago. And things like that makes me mad. I don't mind the government of Trinidad and Tobago giving gifts to other islands to develop. That's okay, we're all Caribbean people. But charity must begin at home. Take care of at home. What about Tobago? And even though we have our current prime minister there, I don't know what is the problem with the Trinidad and Tobago finance and all that stuff. I don't know. And what I always say is that when you're prime minister of a country, people really don't know how much you have to deal with, you know? So I really don't go there. But what I can say is that the Trinidad and Tobago government need to do more for Tobago. And that is why I feel, and I listen when people like Watson Duke and my cousin Miss Boris talk, I see where they're coming from, because Tobago has been neglected and continues to be neglected. And as a Tobagonian, I see it when I go home, and I see it, you know, so, and it's not something that I'm happy about. And I'm sure you two are not happy about it either as Tobagonians, you know, but something has to be done. I hope the people in Canaan and Bunnacord close to Crown Point can be rewarded to the point where they feel that, okay, I give up my land, but I'm heavily rewarded for doing that. But there comes a time when development takes place that sometimes lands, people have to be displaced. I mean, that's just the way it goes. Unless we want to remain as Tobago 1953, Tobago 68, you know, we're not to be, this is 2021. And so, as Anisa said, and as I'm hearing coming out of Tobago, the relationship or the communication between the government and the people of Tobago, or the people in that area surrounding Crown Point, is not as good as it should be. And if you want to get things done, you have to communicate with people, and you have to treat them well. You got to treat people well if you want them to come across to you and what you want.
This is critical, and I would like to get into it more. But you can't take people. You can't take people off land that they own,
Right,
and send them off now to rent or lease a piece of land. I don't think you are taking the people's emotions into the place where, what would I say? Into the place where they will be comfortable, where they will be happy, where they'll be able to leave something. You know, a good man leaves his substance to his children. We can't be living a life, we receive it, and now we are about to die, and we leave in our kids on leased lands or lands that you have to rent. And that is regression and modern enslavement. And people have to see it as it is and stop going with party. Your party don't have to be right.
that's right.
He's right. God is right. And we're not even treating him as if he's right. We're still doing whatever we want to do. Sister Anisa Guy, you have given 2. Do you have another one?
Yeah, I believe the tourism industry, they can also use a revamping. Do more, you know, to entice people, to bring more foreigners in. I mean, not now because we're in a crisis right now. We're in a pandemic, but I can see Tobago being at the top. And Tobago's rich in resources. And if they tap into the resources that are available, that we do have, and capitalize on that, I think that we can do well. We can do well because our beaches are lovely, you know, so enhance the tourism industry, you know, sell yourself. And by selling yourself, it means there's a lot of vendors that are on the seaside. So if they make these things more attractable so that when foreigners come in, and when I say foreigners, I don't mean people like us who are from there and we live out here now. I mean people who have never been there. So when they come, it's going to be like, wow, what is this? This is different from what I've seen. You know, something that will shock them, something that's going to say, hey, I want to come back to Tobago. I want to come back. So I think that it's time that they rise up and look at all these different areas. And like I said, my main thing is the healthcare system. Totally needs a revamping. Totally needs a revamping.
We were going to go into the water system. We were going into the water system in Canaan, which is ridiculous. We were going to sewer system, but I will have to bring you guys back because we haven't explored Canaan. We haven't explored God. We haven't explored the generational ties. You know, the name of the guys there.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
family. Yeah,
Yes.
my spirit is moving because that's the reason why God tell me to bring you to the show. You have to speak about your family. But now we have a question here for you. I stayed in Canaan Bonaccord, and at certain points in the morning hours after 1 a.m., your whole room is stink. Whatever happened with your sewer system backs up and come into your bedroom where you sleep. There was a time down there they had to close down every single hotel in Canaan Bonaccord. People were on the streets. Airplane not walking for them to. People slept in car parks.
Wow.
I'm not lying and asking anybody any favor. This is Mama Coco. Mama Coco go home. Mama Coco just travel the whole of Tobago just to see and feel the pulse and watch for developments. You know, I ain't down there looking for friends. I ain't down there looking for sex. I ain't down there looking for money. I ain't down there looking for land. I down there to watch, to see how people. So let me ask you something. How does Tobago look? You know?
Well, the last time I went home was to bury.
And in comparison to the 6,000 islands in the Philippines.
Well, what a lot of people don't know, and I was surprised when I went to the Philippines. The Philippines is more developed than any island in the Caribbean. Makati, I would challenge anybody to go and Google Makati City, Philippines, and you would think you're looking at the skyline of Manhattan. I was surprised. You see what they do when they show you anything about the Philippines, they show you the poor area and poverty. The poverty I saw there, I've never seen anywhere else. When you go to when you go out into the poor areas, you really see abject poverty, right? But in Manila, Makati, the shopping malls, the high-rise buildings, the skyline, there's nothing like that anywhere in the Caribbean. It's more developed than anywhere in the Caribbean. But you know, you don't see that. You see the poor people in the villages and all that kind of stuff. Beautiful villages. The thing about the Philippines is that it reminds me of Trinidad and Tobago. It's a sunny island, no winter, except a part north of the Philippines. It gets a little cold. They grow temperate fruits and vegetables in that part of the Philippines. It's close to Japan and Korea where it snows. But other than that, the island, it's a lot of islands and thousands of islands. It's like home. The same fruits, vegetables. The thing about the Philippines is that the government over there, they use the Philippines as an education port for people all over the world. So there's students in the Philippines from every country in the world because education is a bit inexpensive there. If you have dollars or pounds coming in, it's very inexpensive. And so there's students there from all over the world. Everything is in English, so you don't have to worry about the language barrier. And another thing they do, they pattern their education is structured after the United States. So when you get a degree there, it's easy to get a job here than anywhere else in the world. That is why hospitals bring in all the Filipino nurses. Because they train them to work in the States. Everybody is trained, they all train to work in the States. And so you will notice a lot of hospitals bring Filipino nurses. The problem is that you back over there, you don't do the RN, you do the bachelor's. So when you finish nursing there, you have a bachelor's degree. And some years ago, that caused a problem here in the States because they were being paid more than the RNs because they came with the BSN, and the RNs were saying, well, you know, we are Americans, you can't be paying these people more than you're paying us. And so anyway, that was getting off the subject. It's a beautiful, beautiful place, beautiful place. And I would encourage anybody to travel and visit the Philippines. It's my third home after Tobago and Trinidad in the United States. That's my home. The people are very friendly. They love black people over there. They think that every black person can sing and dance like Michael Jackson and all these people. So when you're walking in the mall, people will call out all these black celebrities. You know, they'll call out to you, but they'll use a black celebrity name, you know, stuff like that. Yes. But it's a very interesting place, I would add. But it's much more developed. It's much more. They have metro rail, they have everything.
So, Mr. Henry, do you know that people in Tobago looking down on all these Filipino people who work in, because almost of our hotels now in Tobago, our casinos, even hotel out on Bacalat and the bars, it's Filipinos working in them, you know. Stony, all about the place. It's Filipinos.
Right.
But people looking at them and feel, well, they come here and live in, so we better than them.
Well, no, the Philippines has more than 100 million people. And all the 100 million. Manila alone, the capital city of the Philippines, has 20 million people. So it's very populated. And of course, the country cannot employ all these people. So what they do, they study, they get their degree, and they go to Saudi Arabia, or they go to Kuwait, or they come to the United States, or they come to Canada, or they come to Tobago and Trinidad, so they can get jobs, because they don't have enough jobs for everybody in the Philippines. It's like a lot of people, African Americans, ask me, well, why do you Caribbean people leave and come to the States if the Caribbean is so nice or whatever? And I tell them, no, I try to educate them. I say, well, we come here for education, yes, but the fact of the matter is Trinidad and Tobago, small islands, really cannot employ all of us. Can you imagine if all of us had stayed back there? We would be, yeah. And so this country is a country of opportunity. It still is, not the same as it was 20, 30 years ago, but it's still a country of opportunity. And hopefully when we get rid of IQ 45, I'm sorry, I'm calling him that, IQ 45. When we get rid of him, hopefully we can have a system that will have immigrants. This country was built by immigrants. This country needs immigrants. You know, Trinidad needs us, some of us, to go back, but all of us can't go back. And if we go back, Trinidad can employ a lot of us. You know, right now, people right down there, and they can't find a job. So, yeah, so the Philippines is a beautiful island country, and it's wonderful. I would encourage anybody to visit.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know you guys want much more. We have much more to give.
Mama Coco, I have a poem I did for you, and I have to do it before I go.
I know the poem. Come on. But Anisa and Earl, what can people learn from your individual brands?
For me, I will say strength, dexterity.
Make sure you bring in your little business that you started.
Oh yes, and that's why I said strength and dexterity, because not only am I a nurse, but I'm also a fitness instructor. So Earl, you can drop and give me 50. Hey. So
okay.
And I don't mean $50. Okay. So with that, I'm able to empower women. So I believe in empowerment. Empower women that they can do whatever they feel that they can do. You know, like Philippians said, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Now, whenever I say that, I say it, I internalize it. And I say, I, Vier Guy, can do all things through Christ Jesus who strengthens me. And if I can say it and if I can do it and I mean it, then you also can do it. So empowering women that listen, if you have 30 pounds, 40 pounds, 50 pounds to lose, you can do it. It's a mindset. It's a mindset. You can see the food and leave the food. There's a time to eat, a time to sleep, a time to weep. There's a time for everything. So if you want to lose weight and you sit behind the TV 24/7 and you're saying, well, okay, I'm going to lose weight, but you're eating a bag of chips, you're eating a big bottle of pop, you know, bottle of soda all day, and whole bunch of junk food, McDonald's and all that stuff, then of course you're going to be putting on weight. So, you know, you want to tell people that, listen, if you're serious about something, you can do it. Put your mind to it. And most time I have people, I also used to do people that are, I would say, extremely obese. And you working with them, it's also a challenge because you have personality issues. You have different issues that they have been through. So you got to work with that as well. You know, so I will say just empowering you to do the things that you think you can do, the things that you are capable of doing, and putting it to practice. So basically, that's it. Things
Oh,
that will propel you to your destiny.
beautiful. Brother Earl Henry, you know, we passed 2.5 hours. Brother Earl Henry, I want to hear from you.
Well, there's a lady called Ellen G. White. She
Yes,
has a statement. She says, higher than the highest ideals is God. Higher than the highest thought can reach is God's ideal for me. I want to leave that with your listeners. Higher than the highest thought can reach is God's ideal for me. When I was a little boy in Tobago, we used to sing a song, brighten the corner where you are. You all know that song, brighten the corner where you are. And that is how I comport my life. God has placed each of us in our corners. And God wants us to brighten our corners where we are. Well, how do we do that? We do that by reaching out to others.
Center yourself, family.
Yeah, we do that. We do that by reaching out to others, by helping others, by encouraging others, by supporting others. I believe that God smiles his biggest smile when we help others. I really believe that. God loves it when we help others. And when God blesses us with a house or a car or something, he blesses us to bless others. He blesses us to bless others. And the education that God has given to me is to bless others. And that is why I like people who reach out to others, who want to make a difference for others. And I admire people like Watson Duke and even my cousin Boris. They want to make a difference in the life of others. And that is what we should do. You know, that's my brand. My brand is, and God has blessed me. Now I'm the chair of a department. I'm the chair of the public health subcommittee for my university. I teach classes. I interface with impressionable young people. I love young people. I love people. I love people. People ask me why I love Facebook. I love Facebook because people are on Facebook. And I love people. I love people. I can't live without people. You put me on an island without people, I'll die in 2 days. I love people. And God has created us to love people. We are social beings. We have to, and that is why I love you, Mama Coco. You love people. I can see that you love people. You want to make a difference in the lives of people. You want to educate people. You want us to understand how important it is for us to come together as people, work together, support each other, encourage each other, pray for each other. That's my brand. And I thank God for life. I thank God that He placed me in Tobago as a little boy to grow up in Tobago. I thank God for the people, my villagers, my parents, Tobagonians. I thank God for Tobagonians. I thank God for Tobago. And that is why I want to go back at home and make a difference. We'll go back home and make a difference in the lives of the people in that beautiful 116 square miles called Tobago. That's my brand. My brand is to brighten my corner where I am until the Lord decide to, and I learned this word at home in Tobago, until the Lord decide to send me to Boneyard. We all have to go there sometime if Jesus doesn't come. But while he say occupy until I come, and occupy in making a difference in the lives of others, giving back. As he bless you, you bless others. People ask me, how is it that people like Oprah is doing so well? You know why? It's one little thing. As God bless her, she bless others. As God bless her, she bless others. You see? And that is one thing that we need to understand. And you don't have to be rich. We can use our time to bless others. We can use our talent to bless others. I tell my students, I say, if you're strong in chemistry or you're strong in statistics, you're strong in those subjects that are very hard, look for a student that is struggling and spend 1 or 2 hours a week and help that student with math because you're strong in math. And you know what? I say, God is going to bless you. And I have had students who came back to me and said, Dr. Henry, wow, I decided that I'm going to help this student with chemistry. I decided I'm going to help this student, and God has blessed me. When I went back home and I went to my church, all those people came to me and said, we're going to help you for next semester. I have students who came back and they had $3,000 on their account. They don't know where it came from. I told them, I said, God, that is blessing. When you bless others, God will bless you. As you bless others, God will bless you. And God has blessed each of us. We have different gifts, but he wants us to use our time. That's a gift. Use your time to help others. Use your talent to help others. Yes? And once we do that, the gifts that he has given us, he will bless us. It's as simple. And so that's my brand. Give back. Brighten your corner and give back.
Yes, because I want to hear my poem before people leave. So can you drop the poem now?
Okay, I wrote this poem about Mama Coco from the time I met her. I was so impressed with this lady. I heard about you even before I left Tobago. I heard about Cora Pantin. So you were very popular in Tobago. I think you could have run for not prime minister, but you could have run for an office and win. Anyway, hear my poem. Mama Coco from Tobago, come from a village that is close to Roxborough. 2 children, beautiful children. Later on, they moved to Brooklyn. Her main station was education, instilled in her 2 lovely children. Thank you, Jesus, Heavenly Father. One became a doctor, the other an actor. Say it loud. Mama Coco is proud. Tobago is proud. Trinidad is proud. From Roxborough, it's probably a mile, but they walk it with a smile. That little village, that beautiful village, that quaint little village is called Argyle.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Jesus. Anisa, you hear that?
Oh, man, that's powerful, man.
Brother
Powerful.
Earl, you move me from where I sit. And
Yes.
I don't know, because as an eagle, I call myself an eagle. I only came down for some food, and I love the food. When the Louis say, go light your world, professor. Yes, go light your world.
Oh, those are my friends. She's my very good friend, Pastor Lois, my very good friend. And my cousin Salim was hailing me out. Hi, Salim.
Hey, Salim. Erica Melvin is saying she loved that poem. Oh,
Mama Coco from Tobago.
Yay. Little village close
from
to
a village that is close to Roxborough.
Yeah. Stephanie, you coming up on the show next week. Stephanie is from Tobago, and she's a retired nurse, and she is on our live. She said, treat others as you would like them to treat you. There's a young that is putting up some stuff. I didn't get his name, but Mona Simon is saying at a pot. Hey, cuz, long time no see. Wow.
We all went to primary school in Bonaccord. Mona Simon and Arthur Potts. We all were in Bonaccord Primary School. And you know what? One of our teachers was Teacher Percy. Say if you tell a lie, you're going to hell as soon as you die. She was one of our teachers, Teacher Percy.
Yes. Arthur Potts is saying, great grand Professor Henry. Brighten the corner where you are.
Amen.
Light it up. Light it up. Yes. And Salim Abdullah is saying, oh, Salim.
Yeah.
He said, hi, Earl, Cora. Gail, say hi.
Yeah.
Hi, Gail. Tell Gail I send my love. Tell Gail I send my love, family. When the Louis said, Kaiso.
Melda, oh, you making wedding plan. Carrying me name to Opium. All you do can't get through. I still ain't gonna marry to you.
So you're singing that on Wendy? She asked her for marriage?
She asked for a calypso.
Oh my God. I thought she asked her for marriage, boy.
Wendy is my dear friend. We go way back, scouting days.
Yes,
Wendy.
Yes. Hallelujah. There's a woman that on here, I wonder if you know her. She came on my live I think it was last week. Jacobson.
Oh, I'm not too sure.
Is Errol in?
Oh, I'm not too sure. I don't think so.
That was before your time over.
That was before my time.
No, it was.
But I wanted to say that Anisa is a baby. She was born in 66. I was born in 58. She's a baby.
That's really kind of you. That's kind of you, Earl.
but
it looked like we're going into the 3 hours, right? But Earl, how can citizens of Trinidad and Tobago? Where is the question?
Oh, how can they avail themselves at Oakwood University?
Yes.
Well, it's
let them know Oakland is in Alabama.
Yeah, Oakwood University is in Huntsville, Alabama. Huntsville, Alabama is located in North Alabama. It is the most affordable city to live in the United States of America. It's a college town. It's beautiful. It's different from the other parts of Alabama. I don't leave Huntsville to go anywhere. You leave here, it's a lot of hick town, and racism is a problem. But Huntsville is very progressive. In Huntsville, we have people here from all over the United States, the East Coast and West Coast. So it's very productive, and also it is a liberal, progressive city. We have the second largest research park in the country after Silicon Valley in California. It's our research park here in Huntsville. So Oakwood is located in Huntsville. And of course, if students anyone from Trinidad wants to come to Oakwood, you have to apply, obviously, and you have to be accepted and go through the immigration process, just like you would for any other school.
Oh, good to know. Alicia, Anisa Guy, could you tell us anything about how people can get in to do nursing in Canada? I know Canada is a very hard place to really get in.
Exactly.
Or if you're already there and you want to do it.
If you are already here, it becomes easier because you have to do the prerequisite courses, of course, science courses, pathology, chemistry, human biology, stuff like that. It's a precursor for you to get in. If you're overseas, coming from different countries, there is an international section, and they can go on the CNO, which is the Canadian Nursing Association, or they can go, depending on the province where they're going, and they can get all the information. But like Earl have said, you have to do the prerequisite courses. You have to be fully adversed in those, so your grades must be proficient. Yeah. If your grades aren't there, that will deter you right away. So you have to be having those. And of course, once you've completed that, then you have your immigration process, and then you can migrate and come and get started.
Well,
yeah.
Sister Anisa, it wouldn't be the best thing for me to do.
Why?
So, listen, no, this wouldn't be the best thing for me to do, to bring you on this show. And I don't let you have a chance to say how death in your family, struck you so hard for the past 2 years, 3 years, you lost your knee. Tell us about that. Tell us about your father before we wrap up.
The whole grieving process. Wow. 2018 was a devastating year for our family. It began with my niece in England. She's also was a nurse in England, and she was only 35. And we got a call that morning that she passed away. Well, of course, nobody ain't sleeping after that. I wake up the whole house because I start bawling down the whole place. Everybody got up. My son ran to the room, and my husband's like, what happened? What happened? And, that was indeed a shock, because she wasn't sick. She had good health, everything, and she passed away. And because of the fact that she was not ill, and that happened to her, the British government actually, they had her body for, I think, about 6 weeks, something like that, before they can release it for her body to be returned to Trinidad. So it was a waiting process. It's my brother's and his wife, my sister-in-law, very traumatic for them as well. And
you have lost your lighting.
Oh.
The light is not on you.
Are we okay there? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, like I said, it was very traumatic for my brother, Dr. Carlton Guy, and his wife. And the waiting process to have her body brought down from England for 6 weeks, we waited before the funeral could take place. And it's like the grieving process was continuous. It's like, okay, so every day it was an issue. And I found myself, I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep. And not too long after that, we've been through that. a cousin of ours died. And then not too long after, an aunt died. And then an uncle died and a sister died. So we had a tremendous amount of loss in our family in the space of 2 months.
Wow.
2 months.
Yes, yes, indeed. And I mean, the one that really hit me was my niece, because we were really close.
Yes.
She would call me up from England and say, Auntie, I want to go to Tobago, such and such. And she said, I'm thinking of going this time. And I'll say, okay, let me get my calendar. Let me check my schedule, see if I can take some time off that time. We're going to go down together. And we always do this, you know, so it's like she knows I'm coming and we plan to go. And it's like, I wouldn't even tell my brother that I'm coming down, her dad, but they will know that she's coming. And she wouldn't tell them I'm coming. I'll be surprised. They'll be surprised. It's like, oh, you're here. You know, so that's the close knit we had. We're a close family. The guy's family, you know, you heard that on the video from the other day, and we're really close. We're a close family and very supportive, you know. So that was really hard for us, not just for me, my siblings, my sisters, again, my brother and his wife. So that sort of put me in a downward mode, you know. But
COVID hit and your father is alive?
And then my father was alive, and I mean, God bless his soul, at 94. And during the COVID, he passed away. And, you know, one thing I'm glad for, I'm sad that he passed. I mean, it was a shock that he, you know, we know that he's going to go. I mean, 94, he's lived a tremendously long life. Thank God for that. But the fact that I couldn't go, the fact that my sister in the States couldn't go, it was really hard for us, because we had to watch it on the tube and see, hey, you know. So, I mean, I'm still trying to deal with that, because maybe if we have had the opportunity to really go, then we can put some closure to it, you know. But God is good, and I mean, he'll take us through this. It's rough, but he'll take us through. He brought us through 2 years ago, and he'll bring us through this. And we just thank God that we know that losing someone at a time, rough time like this, and I know I'm not the only one that went through it. There were many people that lost family. I have a friend that was right here. She's a retired nurse. I worked with her before, and she had lost her brother right here in Toronto, and she couldn't go. Right? And I mean, it was really, really sad for her that she was right here and she couldn't even go to the funeral. So we are living in a tough time, and we just got to learn to love and respect one another, love our families, because we don't know when the big man is going to say, hey, you got to be ready, you know, live for Christ, live peaceful, love one another, love your families, forget all the things that were done, forget all the things that were said, because all families have dynamics. Right? We all have our dynamics, and we just learn to forgive and forget. Forgive one another and move forward. Because if we don't, we are going to give ourselves high blood pressure. We are going to give ourselves heart issues, problems, depression, suicidal thoughts. So we just need to love one another and move forward, and ask God to give us grace and guidance so that we can take each day at a time. So I just say peace with that.
I followed your grieving process from the time it started, and to bring you to this evening, to get you to speak on it, is just to strengthen other people.
Yes.
Going through so much. So, Brother Earl, can you say something on that? Because we are going to close in a few minutes.
Well, what I would say, I want to express my condolences to my dear sister Anisa, and no one can really understand what she's going through. But I just want you to know that God has your back. God is with you, and your family.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
yes. And just keep on trusting Him. Oftentimes we don't understand why, But that is one of the questions that we'll have answered when we get to heaven. I mean, why? My best friend died at the age of 45 from cancer, and I asked God why. But God does all things well. He does all things well because He is God. He knows the beginning from the end.
Yes.
So we have to, and you're a praying person, I can tell. You have a relationship with God, and may He continue to grant you the strength, the wherewithal, and the courage that you need going through this period of bereavement and beyond, because you're going to be grieving for a long time, and people need to understand that. And don't entertain anyone who says, "Well, why are you grieving?" And it's 3 years later, it's 5. People don't understand. My mother died 5 years ago, and I'm still grieving to a certain extent. I mean, you don't see it outwardly, but I still think of my mom every day, literally. She's in the Buku Cemetery there, and I think about her every living day. That was my mother. And Mama Coco, you have lost loved ones, your brother who died. So we can empathize. We have lost loved ones, and we can empathize, but we would not fully understand your experience. But what we can say, just allow God to lead, guide, and direct you. And God is going to hug you. He's going to be a conduit. He's going to be a conduit for the rest of your life. He's going to be a crucible for the rest of your life. Hallelujah. Just allow Him, get on His wings and fly. Get on His wings. Our wings can't take us anywhere, but get on His wings. Get on the wings of God. And God is going to fly and take you where He wants to take you, when He wants to take you. So may God bless you, Anisa. It's really a privilege being on the same show with you. I feel honored to be on the same show with you today.
Well, brother Earl, I must say thank you very much for all the endorsement. And I must say, indeed, it was a pleasure sharing this platform with you. And I enjoyed your comments, your insights, very informative. And I hope that what we have done today, maybe, it can touch someone and it can help them to figure out what they have to do and make the right decision in whatever issue they're dealing with. And I want to thank Mama Coco for the opportunity for having me here, for having us here tonight. Such an awesome, awesome woman. Like Earl said, you do love people. You love the limelight, and the limelight love you, right? So it shows, and you're glowing each and every day. The blessing of the Lord is upon you from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet.
Hey, hallelujah.
Right? So just keep on doing your thing. Keep on trusting God, and He is the one that's going to lead the path. Not me, not you, not anybody. God is going to lead your path. You started off this way, but you don't know where the end is going to come. Maybe He's going to lead you in a different direction. So go in God's grace. And again, thank you. And God bless each and every one of you that were tapped in here tonight.
Before you finish, you have now been the wife of this nice husband. Say 2 words and a prayer. Let us, and your son. Tell us about this lovely guy that you met.
Awesome individual. I don't know how he puts up with me, but he does. He loved me, and the fact that he loves me, I do love him too. I'm not saying that it's 100% perfect, because we don't agree on everything, which there's no relationship. If you agree on everything, it becomes boring. You need a little challenge. So, but we understand each other. He's very outgoing, so am I. We do things together. We do things apart. Most of all, he's a God-fearing man. And that's what I like, because I believe that you got to put God first in everything, and He will lead you to your path. As far as my son, very proud of him. Very, very proud of him. God has blessed me with him, and he's been an asset to me. And he's married now, and I'm just praying that as he continues his university journey, that he will reach the path that he desired to reach. I mean, he's here. When you had asked for my husband to come, and he's shy, and he said no, he doesn't want to come on the show. And I told my son, he said, "Oh no, Mom," but he's out there and he's outside listening. So yes,
I know.
my big guy is here, so he's enjoying. I'm proud of them both. Yeah.
Yes.
Mama Coco,
Yes.
I want to take this opportunity to thank you for giving me the opportunity and the privilege to appear on your show. And it has been a blessing to me. And I hope that our appearance, Anisa and my appearance, have been a blessing to those who listen. And I just want to thank you for the opportunity. I know just now we have to say goodbye, but I'm just saying, never can say goodbye.
No.
No, never can say goodbye.
What I like is, oh no, we ain't going home. I like Tambu.
This is not a.
Yes. Yeah, I like Tambu.
This is not a fete. What about this? Is not a fete in here. This is madness.
Yes, man.
Earl, that is really Earl's old school.
The black man feeling to jam. Yes. This was a very awesome evening for me.
Thank you.
You know, we're supposed to practice what we teach and teach what we practice. We're supposed to honor God in all his ways, because he said in all our ways we should acknowledge him.
Acknowledge him, and he will direct our path. Yes.
And I told Anisa, I said, Anisa, you know a guy named Earl Henry? My spirit picking up that I should go with him. I said, you guys, I said, I think he's from Canaan somewhere down there now. She said, I know Earl. I remember knowing him in the village. But Anisa said, bring him with me.
Thank you, Anisa.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Canaan Bonaccord in the house.
Canaan and Bonaccord. You know something? The best from the West.
Yes. There's something Earl to Canaan today. There's something to Canaan.
Well, all I can say to Canaan and Bonaccord, I love your people. I love my people in Tobago, but more specifically, my people in Canaan and Bonaccord. Whenever I go home, I drive around Canaan. As a matter of fact, when I go home, I rent a car and I drive around the whole island. I do that every time I go home. I love Tobago. You know, when I was a little boy, I know you're wrapping up. Let me tell you a quick story. When I was a little boy, I used to go down to the beach and I would see all these white people oohing and eyeing. Oh, this is beautiful. That is beautiful. I used to say in my, what they're talking about? Maybe I have to have a green eye or a blue eye to see the beauty, because I can't see no beauty. What are they talking about? But you know what? When I left Tobago and I came away and I went back home, then I saw the beauty that they were talking. Tobago is a really, really, really beautiful island. And so I want to say to the people of Canaan, hello, I love you. I don't know how many Canaan Bonaccord people are on the feed today, on their live today, but I want to let you know that I can't wait to get back home. That's my plan, to get back home and make a difference in the lives of others, as I know my Canaan and Bonaccord people and my Tobago people will make a difference in my life. One love.
One love.
Yes, one love. Peace, peace, peace.
Any extra love for Canaan and the Guy family?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Big up Canaan Bonaccord, the best from the West. Big up, y'all. Love y'all.
Hey.
Family.
Amen.
When
Amen.
you look, whoa, my mother Priscilla, you was a real Kaisonian.
Come, let we go to Tobago, that paradise found by Robinson Crusoe. And it is said, it's the land of tomorrow. Princess Margaret say, come to Tobago for holiday. Now the whole world say, come to Tobago for holiday. Love you all, Tobago. Thank you, Mama Coco.
Hey, bless.
Thank you, Mama Coco.
Bless.
Bless. Everybody saying bless. Yes, Tobago. There was a young man that I really wanted to read, because he doesn't look like he born in Tobago, but I think he living there now. And he had some great comments. So may every one of you go back into this show and do a rerun and comment, you know.
Okay.
And lady and gentlemen, stay put where you are. And this is the end of Mama Coco show for today. Today's Sunday. And I want to say, I want to thank Jehovah God for his peace. Yes, for his calm. With clarity and with precision, we have made this show. We have
Yes.
made to show a success story.